Okay, let's see. Let's see who's joined or not joined. Do we have attendees coming in? Okay. Hi, Jayanti. We see you live there. Welcome to the session, Jayanti. Hi, Siddharth. Welcome. Dimple, Himendra, Alok, Dimple. Good to see you guys here. Hi, Unique. How are you doing? You can unmute and say yes. Wow, Vikas Sharma, Shilpa Verma. Good to see you all here. You have a choice of unmuting yourself and saying hello. How are you guys doing on the COVID era? Hope everybody is safe and sound at home. Okay, Unique. I have allowed you to talk. You can unmute and say hello.
Hi, good morning, Sunilji. Good to see you after a long time.
Yeah. It has been great. Congratulations on your new move.
Thank you so much. Moreover, you looks like a complete doctor.
Yeah, I said. See, when you are in good company, something rubs off. So with Ma'am Datta Patel, I thought I should also look a little bit more like a doctor, though I'm not. Yeah. I'm just putting it for this session only, and I'll take it off very soon. Okay.
But the doctors of CIOs of India would be Mr. Sunil Sirohi only. Thank you so much. This is really a wonderful session. I hope we will have a good learnings after this session.
Absolutely. I can promise you that.
Thank you, Sunilji.
Okay. I see Harvinder. Harvinder, you want to talk something, Harvinder? I put you on allowed to talk.
Hey, hi, Sunilji. I was just wishing Unique.
I saw that. I just saw that. I said before it gets missed out, I must pick you up. And if you all guys are presentable, you can use your videos. It's good to see people as well.
I think the videos are not enabled yet, right?
Okay, if that be the case. Yeah, maybe it will take a lot of bandwidth here and there. Okay, I see Vikas as well. Okay, Vikas. Okay, we're seeing participants. So good to see a lot of people joining in. Very nice. Ganesh Vishnathan, hello. Karandeep Singh. Karandeep Singh, I'm putting you on unmute. You can unmute yourself and say hello. Welcome here. Where did Karandeep go?
Thank you, sir. I just unmuted myself. Glad to be part of this in the morning today. Thank you for organizing this.
Yeah, it's so nice to know about something which we neglect the most.
Yeah, this is the most important thing, part of the life now. It's a new lifestyle now. That's what we say it now.
Yeah, and I know you are a great health freak and a very good sports person. And for everyone's knowledge, this young man runs only marathons. He doesn't run in small places. He only 42 kilometers or more in one go.
Thank you so much. I think this group itself is such an energetic group. Lot of motivation every day. So happy to be part of this.
No, it's a pleasure.
And maybe time to go for Ironman as well for you.
Yeah, so let the swimming pool open up. Which is the Ironman then. Waiting for swimming pools to get opened.
Yeah. I'm sure not far away. With all this, slowly I think it should become better and soon.
Yeah, let's hope this pandemic gets over soon for all.
Okay, Vikas, you're not getting an option. Here you get an option. Try, Vikas. Can you unmute yourself now? You were saying you couldn't do that.
Yeah. Good morning, Sunilji.
Good morning.
Now I am able.
Very nice. Very nice. And you can unmute, you can unmute yourself so that when the session starts, I think we can mute yourselves and continue. I see Mr. Mittal as well. Mittal Saab, good morning. You can unmute yourself, Mittal Saab. Okay. I have. Okay. Mittal Saab, your choice. You can unmute yourself. Manoj Kumar, Monica Garg, welcome. Naveen Jain, Neeraj, Nikhil, Nupur, Prasanna, Rachna, Shilpa, Siddharth, Sonali, Sushant Sahu. Welcome to this session, please. We'll just give a couple more minutes because we have a lot of people joining and we see as this thing gets onboarded. Ma'am Datta, just give us a few more minutes. I know your time is very precious, but we will take a few more minutes to let more people on board and not let them miss your good words.
No issues.
Thank you. Okay. Mittal Saab, you want to unmute and say a few words? I can see you can unmute yourself. Manoj Kumar, okay. Manoj Kumar, I am going to unmute you. Where you are. Manoj Kumar, you can start talking now. Unmute yourself.
Hey Sunil, good afternoon. Very happy to see you, sir.
Yeah.
Very handsome, Dr. Sunil.
Thank you so much. And now it looks like a doctor, no?
Yeah, yes.
It was
Happy to be here, sir.
Yeah, it was just to have great, Manoj. It was just to add a little bit of humor to the story because all these IT guys, they don't know what their body is like. They have ruined their body with all these workloads they carry.
Yeah, very, very hectic nowadays for the all IT people,
The interesting part is that work from home has become more work at home than what it used to be in office.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah, we seem to be working more nowadays. Yeah, this is not good. I hope this is not getting recorded somewhere.
No, Sunil, nowadays in the market we have implemented one software like the MPM, Manpower Productivity Management. It counts that how much manpower work at home. That is also very, very dangerous.
Interesting one. So there are some interesting studies which we'll probably share offline, not too relevant to this topic, but yes, there are interesting studies going on. Some countries are having some big boom. Okay. I think we'll start now. It's about 11:05 and we have about 1 hour. So for 55 minutes left, I think we have a lot of participants joined. So allow me to start this session now formally. So good morning, friends. I'm very happy to be part of this webinar on nutrition. It is one of the most important and yet most neglected by all of us. In so-called making the two ends meet, we happen to only worry about work and not about ourselves and our loved ones. We don't really look at the food we eat, the exercise we do, or the sleep we get. All of this just gets neglected in the work environment and also in the rush of making things work. With the world getting locked down, most of us are working from home and then possibly worked in office. At least there was travel break earlier. Now there's no travel break. You're continuously working from home. Now, there is one thing which remains with us throughout our life, and that is the one thing which we kind of continue to neglect, and that's our own body. So this is the only thing which remains till the last breath you take, and yet we don't really care about this body. So we better treat our body with care. With the kind of lifestyle we have lived, we have made this body very fragile. And I'm sure you may have seen many stickers stating fragile, handle with care. So it is time to handle our body with care and ensure that it doesn't remain fragile any longer. It is important to get timely interventions from experts to keep the body in perfect shape. We many times ask where to go, whom to ask, whether the advice I get is professionally sound or not. And luckily, the country we live in, everyone is an advisor. I'm sure you know, there is no one who says, I don't know. Everyone knows and has something to offer as an advice. But it is important for us to identify the right advice, the right advisor, and also where to go and seek the right advice. So the good part is that there is a new platform, which is an upcoming platform, and the platform's name is mhealth.ai. And interestingly, it is being started or initiated or onboarded by one of our very good friends, Rajesh, and he's initiated this platform. And I'm sure we'll hear more soon later, as it is an upcoming platform, and this seminar comes up from that platform today. So what is mHealth AI? mHealth AI is an initiative to spread awareness about the importance of staying fit and healthy. mHealth is a team of young, energetic, and experienced professionals, doctors, researchers, nutritionists, psychologists, who aim to build a healthier and happier society. Please note, this is an invite-only community. So in case you want to get invited or you want your loved ones to be invited, just reach out to the website www.mhealth.ai. And that's where you will get some connect to invite yourself, and basis the kind of channels they operate, the basis the target segment they have in terms of different channels for different kind of groups. Common interest people, common objective people can kind of get into those channels and have a community-based platform working for themselves. It serves as a meeting point for people who have questions about various physical and mental issues about themselves or body. And all of this will be in confidential kind of terms. There will be only one-to-one kind of advice being provided. So many medical solutions do not provide equally effective for everyone, but expert guidance can just be one click away. And that's the kind of beauty this platform is going to bring into us. So there's a common platform for people who have similar situations, similar issues. So there may be channels, there may be community talks, there will be professionals like doctors and nutritionists. There will be people who will help you, guide you for health and proactive things. And this will help us to get kind of better proactively, not only reactively, but proactively. So today's seminar is nutrition and its importance in COVID times. I think no better time to know and learn about importance of nutrition. And we are very lucky to have Ms. Datta Patel. She's the head of Department of Nutrition and Dietetics at D.Y. Patil School of Medicine and Hospital. And she's the program coordinator for Bachelor's of Sports and Exercise Science. She has specialization in food science and nutrition and is a postgraduate in the discipline, MSc Food Science and Nutrition. She has completed multiple certification courses like nutrition support in cancer, in renal diseases, in ICU, nutrition support in GI diseases, nutritional assessment, nutrition support in periorative from European Society for Clinical Nutrition and Metabolic Care. She has also done approach papers on oral and internal nutrition for adults and total parenteral nutrition. Forgive me for some these difficult terms. I have never pronounced them earlier in my life, but they're sounding very interesting. She's certified in nutrigenomics and has ESPEN certification in clinical nutrition and metabolic care. She's an author too and has co-authored the Purple Book FSSAI. She's a member of Board of Studies, Academic Council, examiner and presiding officers at D.Y. Patil University, Hospital Infection Control Committee, member of IAPN, block member of ESPEN, and life member of Indian Dietetics Association. She's a most sought after person. She's a visiting faculty and invited guest at Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, BMN College of Home Science, D.Y. Patil School of Nursing and Physiotherapy. She is the organizing chairperson, International Clinical Nutrition Conclave, MedInspire. She is the most sought out speaker, as I said, on the subject and gets invited as a speaker, chairperson, moderator to various national and international conferences. She is a chapter leader, Navi Mumbai, of MMM Hypertension Screening in association with IAPN. We are extremely happy, ma'am, that you have taken your precious time from your busy schedule to share knowledge with us. And now I hand over the session to Ma'am Datta Patel. Over to you, Datta Patel. Please welcome. I know you can give a big round of applause. You can hear it yourself. Please go ahead. And here I hand it over to Ma'am Datta Patel. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sunil, for the introduction. May I request Rajesh Munjal to stop? Yeah, so I can start. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being with us. Hope I may be able to do a justice with the topic and your expectations. Before I start, you all must be thinking that I'm going to tell you about what to eat for COVID-19. But let me tell you that nutrition is not only for COVID-19. It is a very important aspect, and our body is like a very important asset. And most of us forget that it is an asset and we turn it into the liability. So let's discuss how we can create our body as an asset. Give me a minute, I start sharing. Yeah. So let's welcome today. I'll be talking or taking you through the presentation, which will explain about the basic terms of nutrition. What is nutrition? What it is combines of? Why it is important? And what are the problems which we face during the daily routine? And the simple solutions that how we can take care of small things of our daily nutrition and our body. So let me first explain you that what is nutrition. Basically, when anyone or maybe all of us, when we think nutrition, it comes as in food to us, right? But let me tell you, nutrition is a broad term. It is all about how food affect your body's health. So nutrition is a process, a scientific process. It starts from the time you take your food in the mouth and you start chewing. And that is the first step of mechanical digestion, where your saliva mixes with the food and start the digestion process. Right? So it's about digestion, metabolism, absorption, transport of the nutrition, storage of the nutrition, and excretion of the waste material. Right? So this entire process is a nutrition. Right? And why nutrition is so important? Because nutrition is the key thing which takes care of our body's function, interior and exterior, internal functions and external functions. Nutrition is made up of nutrients, right? So before I go on the nutrients, let me tell you that we all require nutrition, and our requirements is different as an individual. Why? Because there are a lot of factors which affect the nutrition intake. Maybe your age, maybe the type of sex, maybe your body composition, maybe the physical activity you are involved, maybe if any clinical conditions you have. So each and every individual will have a different requirements, though there are some average requirements set up by the National Institute of Nutrition, where they say that there is a recommended daily allowance of nutrients. But it is always better to contact the expert, find out what is your requirement and how to meet your requirement, right? So this was about the nutrition. Now what is food? As I say, nutrition starts with the food, the time you take your food in your mouth. So basically food is any substance consumed to get a nutrition from an organism, maybe a plant base or animal base. It is usually a plant or of animal origin and contain essential nutrients such as carbohydrates, protein, vitamins, minerals, etc. So basically whatever food we eat, it is composed of mixture of nutrients, right? And what are these nutrients? These nutrients are the organic or inorganic chemical components. So when we eat food, from that food we get nutrients. And what are those nutrients? They are the protein, vitamin, fats, minerals, water, carbohydrates. So food is comprised of all these nutrients, right? So this was the basic terminologies about the nutrition and food and the nutrients. Now tell me, so now the essential nutrients and life functions. So I just want to tell you that our body has a life functions. So I have categorized them, the reference which I read. So we do the movement, we do respiration is our breathing, sensitivity, nutrition, excretion, reproduction, growth of the body, and defense mechanism, right? So these all are the basic life functions of a human body. And then what are the some key essential nutrients which are very actively involved in the functions of this life function? So if you see movement, calcium and vitamin D, bones, muscles, joints, muscles contraction, relaxations. So for all that, you need to have a strong muscles and strong bones. For that, you require nutrients are protein, potassium, calcium, vitamin D, right? Respiration, which is your breathing, right? So for that metabolism, you require vitamin B complex, iron, iodine. Iodine you require for your thyroid hormone and basal metabolic rate of your body. Sensitivity, right? For that you require iron, iodine, B vitamins. Sensitivity means the nerves, right? The sensations of your nerves, your central nervous system. Nutrition, your appetite control, your hunger center, your satiety centers. There are a few key nutrients who plays important role like zinc and iron. Excretion, right? Body, a kidney is a filter of the body which removes the waste materials from the body, toxins from the body. So there are some nutrition which plays key important role like water, sodium, potassium. Reproductions, as a human being we evolve, right? So for a reproduction or for healthy reproductive hormones and the reproductive health, iron and folic acids is very important. For the growth, the overall growth of the body, maintenance and repair, which we go through each and every day. So for that, we require a wide spectrum of the nutrients. For key nutrients are like energy, protein, iron, zinc, vitamin A. Defense, it is very important that we fight against the infections, we build up immunity, right? It's a saying that who have a good immunity, they are able to avoid infections, especially such pandemic is going on. So it's good to have a good immunity. So there are some key nutrients which helps you to develop the immunities: protein, vitamin A, vitamin C, zinc, which will be building up your immunity. So as now you have understood that our body has very important life functions, and there are nutrients who takes care, or they have a very big role to play in maintaining those life functions. So don't you agree with me that nutrition plays a very important role for the health and the quality of life, right? This is a food pyramid. So this pictorial suggests that what all food groups which we eat. For example, if you see on our daily routine, we eat roti, sabzi, dal, chawal, maybe breakfast, poha, omelette, milk, tea, coffee. But these foods are divided into the food group. And there are some recommendations given for intake of these food groups, right? So we will start from the base to the top. If you see the base is vegetables, right? Vegetables are of various kinds. If we can see the types of the vegetable, we have a yellow, orange, red, purple, colorful vegetables, which are high in antioxidants and phytonutrients. We have a green leafy vegetables, which is rich in beta carotene. We have a roots and tubers. We have other vegetables. So this all vegetables are a complex carbohydrate. They give us a fibers which are important for the digestive health, for the health of the gut, help in developing the favorable gut bacteria, which has, you must be hearing a lot of about the gut and the nutrition, right? We have a fruits. Fruits are antioxidants and they give us the fibers. And vegetables and fruits are made up of 80 to 85% of water. And if you understand human body is 70% of water. So when we consume these fruits and vegetables, we get our antioxidants, we get our micronutrients like vitamin C, we get fibers, and we get water. So it's very important that we consume a large amount of fruits and vegetables in our daily routine. So it is said that 30 to 60% of calories or 10 to 40% of calories should come from your complex carbohydrate, which is comprised of fruits and vegetables, where it is important that you should not be keep on eating repeating one vegetable or one fruit, but you should select the seasonal fruits and vegetables and try to take 5 to 6 servings of mixed fruits and vegetables throughout the day, right? Next, we are moving to the top. It's your nuts, seeds, and your whole grains, right? So whole grains, that means it includes your grains and millets. So wheat, jowar, bajra, nachni, semolina. This all are the grains and millets. And then seeds. So your black till, white till, mustard seeds, poppy seeds, sunflower seeds. These all are the nuts and oil seeds. So your peanuts, which you eat, for example, almonds, cashew nuts, all dry fruits, right? So this nuts and oil seeds, they have a healthy fats. So it is important to consume a handful of usually seeds we use as in tempering in our cooking, right? But it's important to use of flax seeds, white till, black till, as they are a good source of calcium, iron, and omega-3 fats. Whole grains will always give you a spectrum of nutrition which includes a starch complex, carbohydrates, and also micronutrients like minerals. And it is why I have mentioned whole grains, because it is important to eat unprocessed whole grains, or do not use a refined, because refining process will remove the outer layer cover and the endosperm of the grain, which will reduce the nutrient spectrum of the grain. So it is always important that you eat less processed. So whole grains or maybe half broken grains. After that, if you see, that's a dairy and mostly the animal products, dairy, eggs, oil, fish. Now they give us a protein. They are very rich in protein. And as a human being, we dependent on the plant protein and the animal protein. Plant proteins are always your pulses. So pulses is your like moong, soya bean, matar, rajma, kidney beans, dry peas. You eat, they are a good source of plant protein, but it is always important to use a multiple sources of a plant protein if you are vegetarian, because then you need to eat a complementary protein. That means you combine the different sources of the protein in order to get all essential amino acids for your body. When you eat animal products, it gives you all essential amino acids. That means it gives you a good quality of protein, but at the same time, they also have an invisible source of fat. For example, when you eat chicken, when you eat whole eggs, when you eat dairy products along with protein, they also give you a invisible fats. So it is important to control the intake of the animal source of protein. You can even always choose a healthier options by opting for the egg whites, less fat dairy products. Then next is a sweet, cheese, processed foods, red meats. Now why they come at the top? That means you have to use it sparingly, or you have to use them rarely, right? Why? Because when the food is processed, it is exposed to a lot of chemicals and other agents, which also have some side effects. So processing of food will reduce the nutrient quality of that particular food, and same time it adds chemicals and toxins to the body. So that's why you should refrain from using excess of processed foods, refined foods, sweet products like cakes, pastries, cheese. For example, if you understand our traditional system, right? Maybe our grandfathers or forefathers, they never used to have Indian sweets or a dessert pattern. Like for example, it's a system that it is important to have desserts. Like dessert is one of the component of, if you go to any parties, any weddings, or maybe usually in a week, a day, where we feel like eating ice creams or chocolates. But if you observe our traditional pattern, where our forefathers, they used to eat sweets only at the occasions, like maybe a Diwali, maybe any festival times, and that used to be homemade, right? So they had a lot of control over the quality, the processing, because it has to be homemade, and the quality was maintained, and the consumption was very rare, and it has a significance. For example, in winter we used to eat a lot of laddus and methi ke laddus and all that, because in the wind it is said that fat provides us insulation to the body, so it helps to maintain the body temperature, and that time your appetite is also at the peak. So if you eat something like that, it will overall help you to maintain to get the nutrients required for that, and also help you with the adjusting with the weather conditions or the seasons. So this is a broad explanation about the food groups which we eat on the daily practice. Now, as we understood that this was the nutrients, so I'll just take you through the journey of what are the carbohydrates, protein, fats, a quick look. Carbohydrates, as I told you, we get it from grains or the millets and our vegetables, right? So they have a stored form, like we store our energy in the form of glucose or the glycogen as a human. Plants store their energy in the form of starch. So when we eat any plant products, we get that starch. And starch has the polysaccharides, which is of two kinds. So it is a simple, it is a complex, and it is a simple carbohydrate. So we say avoid simple carbohydrate, which is your simple sugars, your fruit juices, your sweets. These are the simple carbohydrate sources, but we say prefer a complex, prefer a whole. So preference is given to vegetables, fruits, whole grains, millets for your complex carbohydrate intake. If you are on any conditions or any diet, obviously you need to consult the expert, but on a daily basis, for example, you should not take carbohydrate requirement minimum starts with 130 grams per day. Sucrose is always seen as in sinful calories. Sucrose means the sugar, honey, right? So these are the sinful calories. Why? Because they just give you the empty calories. They don't give you any other nutrients, right? And as you know that sugar, as you consume sugar, your body blood glucose level goes high, and then the body demands the hormone insulin surge, and repeatedly by having a sweets or sugars or honey excessive consumption, it can longer time, it can lead to a developing adult onset of diabetes, because your insulin sensitivity or insulin resistance can be developed. So always prefer a complex carbohydrate, as I said. Proteins, as I said, very important, right? Though protein gives us calorie, but we don't see protein as a source of calorie, because they have to do a lot of important functions apart from providing us the calories. So protein gives us immunity, right? They make antibodies and fight against infections. Proteins are your contractions in your neural hormones. They require for synthesizing enzymes, hormones, and lot of metabolism of the body. So protein is very important part. You have to eat protein 1 gram per kg body weight according to your ideal body weight. So if I'm weighing 60 kg, my requirement of protein will become a 60 grams per day, right? In any case, you should not eat less protein, because less protein will lead to protein energy malnutrition, and it will interfere with a lot of important functions of the body, like hemoglobin, antibodies, your neural hormones, synthesizing enzymes, etc. These are the sources of protein, as I explained in the food group also. Your dairy products, your pulses, eggs, meat, fish, nuts and oilseeds are a good source of protein and complete source of protein. Now fats. When we take excess of fat, we become fat, right? Because fat is a concentrated source of energy. It provides more than double calories than the carbohydrate and protein, right? So you have to consume from your total daily calories around 20 to 25 to 30 grams of fat for total calories. Avoid saturated fat and no trans fat. Now, why avoid saturated or trans fat, or what are the sources of saturated and trans fat? Anything which is, any fat which is processed at high temperature, they are saturated, they are the trans fat. So for example, I say that maybe filtered groundnut oil is healthy for human consumption. But when you process that oil or any oil, for example, olive oil, at high temperature, that oil is converted to trans fat. That means there is a chemical change in the form of that fat. So any fat processed at high temperature is converted to saturated trans fat. So when you consume anything which is fried or which is baked, where the high temperature is used, so they all are a trans fat. So maybe on the packets of your food, you may not read trans fat 0. You may read as in trans fat 0. But while adding, they have added a polyunsaturated fat, but they have fried at a high temperature, so it's converted to trans fat. Right? So that's why we say refrain of the process, deep fried and baked bakery products. Then fish oil supplements are always good because they are a source of omega-3, and our omega-3 to omega-6 ratio is always imbalanced. Bad fats, like when we consume a butter or dalda ghee or vanaspati ghee, or maybe sweets which is made using a hydrogenated fat, or palm oil or fried foods, this all other bad fats will lead to derange of your lipid profile and cholesterol levels. Good fats, as I say, it's nuts and oilseeds and plant oils are a good fat. For example, avocado, olive, fish liver oil, sunflower, walnuts, peanut. This all are the good fats which you can use for the daily consumption. There are a few important questions which I would like to address to all of you. That it is very important that before eat we understand the difference between hunger and appetite, right? Hunger is your physiological desire. It's demand of your body, right? That your body sends you a signal, you are hungry, you need to eat, you are going down in your energy levels, right? And psychological desire. So appetite is your psychological desire. So for example, I have eaten my lunch, right? And then maybe I'm going out and I see any dessert shop or maybe chaat wala, or maybe by any smell or vision or touch, maybe my friend offers something and I eat that. So that is a psychological desire. So it is very important when you eat to ask yourself, am I eating because of my physiological desire or need, or I'm eating because of my psychological desire, that is my appetite. This way you will be able to control a lot of extra calorie intakes. As I already explained you the food groups, it says also about what to eat and how much to eat, right? So as I mentioned earlier, vegetables and fruits, you need to eat 6 to 7 servings in a day together. Cereals and millets, you need to take 6 to 11 servings. Meat, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy, keep to 2 to 3 servings. If you are vegetarian, then increase the intake of the pulses and dairy. And you have to use fats and oils sparingly. That means very little, right? When you consume a fat, it is very important that you consume in a both form, invisible form and visible form. Visible form of fat is directly oil, butter, ghee, which we use as a fat, and we know this is a fat. But there are also, for example, when you eat peanuts or when you eat dairy products, for example, ghee banta hai kisme se? Doodh se cream, cream se ghee. So milk also contains some amount of fat. Mungfali also contains some amount of fat because mungfali ka tel banta hai, right? So whatever products are there from where we can make the fats, they are definitely the source of invisible fats, and your animal products are also source of invisible fats. What not to eat, as I mentioned earlier, ultra processed food or processed food. They all are, as written here, it's a chemical storm. They are loaded with a saturated fat, trans fat, or sugars, empty calories, no nutrients. So there is no point eating them. This is a time scale. Like, as I said, that you don't develop a deficiency suddenly. For example, today my intake was not sufficient and tomorrow I am having a deficiency. It's a gradual process. So this slides will reflect that what are the common, usually by what time will develop the deficiency. So if you say water, 2 to 7 days, dehydration, and it leads to renal and circulatory failure. Protein and energy takes about 6 to 8 weeks. Vitamin B1, 2 to 8 weeks, which will, the symptoms are fatigue, neurological deficit, and cardiac failure. Potassium, zinc, vitamin C, vitamin B, they roughly takes 2 to 6 months to develop the deficiency. The symptoms are impaired vision, loss of appetite, you feel fatigue. It can sometimes, severe deficiency can lead to sudden death. There are some changes in the skin. You are more prone to infections. Vitamin A and vitamin B take 2 to 4 years to develop the deficiency, which can lead to anemia, fatigue. Calcium will take decades. It will develop osteoporosis and fractures. So you may understand a lot of women who goes to menopausal age. At the aging, when it starts after 40, 45 years of, you're starting more of having bone problems and joints issues. Why? Because it has taken a decade to develop the calcium deficiency. So I don't realize my deficiency today or tomorrow. It's a gradual process where you have a long nutritional gaps. a gap of day, a gap of week, a gap of month, a gap of years will create the gap and organ damage and lead to a lot of nutrition deficiency and may aggravate a lot of clinical conditions.
Yeah. I see this slide very interesting because this is where I think we all don't understand much, and suddenly we get hit by different kind of issues. Like B12, I know it's a very critical component which is not easily found in the normal diet plans and all that, or normal food. So what will be your recommendation for B12 foods? Because that's a very key thing which you're talking about there.
Vitamin B12 is usually get from the dairy products, mushroom, yeast, but it is like dairy products which we daily eat, drink, right? So vitamin B12 from dairy products, but as a vegetarian, and we are exposed to a little amount of it, right? So it is important. Like a lot of people has a understanding problem that supplements are not good. But let me explain here that supplements are the thing where you are not able to meet your requirement through food, because we have a lot of challenges. Like the food which comes to us, we don't know the quality of the processing or growing of that food, the agriculture incapabilities, and then storing issues, and then how much my body is absorbing and storing, right? So there are a lot of challenges we face. Pollution, there are a lot of challenges we face to get a spectrum of our nutrients, and supplements are something which you have to depend if you are not able to fulfill your intake on a daily basis. So I always recommend that vitamin B12 label should be checked, and vitamin B12 dosages, if you take via injections, it will sustain the dose till 2 years. So especially vegetarians who are not eating animal products, it is recommended for them that they consume dairy products and depend on the supplements for vitamin B12. People who has a regular consumptions of animal product like fish and eggs and dairy, they shouldn't be a problem for them.
Okay. And if I see the questions channel, there are a lot of questions there. I'll club few of them to make it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And I see a lot of people eating a lot of stuff at home in the lockdowns. So they're saying what to do when one acidity hits them. Can you beat that? They're eating a lot, I guess. So do you have any prescription for them which says they acidity pretty often, what to do?
Yeah.
And what kind of nutrition they should take in the times of COVID to improve their immunity? That's another question.
Yeah. So first I'll address the acidity issues. Now acidity has a lot of reasons, right? So first, one person, if I have to consult you, I need to understand that the cause of your acidity, because just by giving a solution will not give you a. So if I understand, maybe because you have a long meal gaps in between meals, because of that hyperacidity, because of your consumption of some particular food and allergic to it, you are developing the acidity, or you are taking any medications which is developing the acidity. So these all are the factors which I need to keep in mind. But generally, to subsidize acidity, on general basis, you should keep a small gap. So you take small and frequent meals, right? So to reduce the acidity, also along with that, you have to eat more of the alkaline foods, right? So which provides add more base to your diet and reduce the acidity component. Also, you can reduce the use of a lot of spices in your body, right? So you can go towards more of bland diet and avoid using more of fried and deep fried products, because it can also increase or aggravate your acidity issues. Second question about the COVID era. I know we all are worried and we all want to tap up for the healthy body. But let me explain you first and foremost that immunity is not a miracle. Or there is no miracle food like Harry Potter's stick, Wingardium Leviosa Kia, and I'm immune, right? So there is no magic foods, but you have to be very good intake with the proteins, because as I explained earlier, proteins help us in building up your immunity process, right? So your antibodies fight against the capacity to fight against the infection. So protein is very important. Along with that, vitamin C is very important. As in the COVID also, we are supplementing our patients with the vitamin C. A micronutrient like zinc is also very important for the vitamin C. So if you take care of this nutrient spectrum and the profile, you will be able to build up immunity gradually. As I said, it's not an overnight game.
Yeah. There are some questions around senior citizens or people who are a little more older and 50 plus, 60 plus. How many seeds or nuts should one take? What is a diet plan they should follow? What kind of foods they should go for?
Yes.
And if it's a vegetarian family, there is a question that says, if I am a 5 people unit, how much liters of oil should I intake in a month?
So let me address one by one.
Yeah.
First question, as I say, that how much and what you will entirely depend on. As I say, there are a lot of factors depends on it. What is your age? What is your body composition? What is your physical activity levels? What are your any complaints you have? Maybe a constipation or acidity or bloating. If you have any clinical disorders like diabetes, hypertension. So answering this question on will be a difficult because as I don't understand. But as I mentioned earlier, follow the food groups which I explained. So increase the intake of fruits and vegetables, reduce the intake of sweets, oils, and the processed food. Increase the intakes of pulses and whole grains and cereals on a general basis. Second, for the question was for the
Senior people about nuts and how much to
nuts,
nuts.
how much nuts and oil seeds. Now, nuts and oil seeds, like we, as for example, do not consider as a nutritious when you are eating it with the alcohol, right? So when you are munching on the salted peanuts or fried cashew nuts, that is not healthy. But for example, 1 to 1 teaspoon of flax seeds is healthy. When you use when you're using maybe a dal tempering or the vegetables tempering, judiciously you can use a mustard seeds, cumin seeds, white till, black till. You can add a black till in your mukhwas, a sof which you are eating maybe after meals, right? And for a dry fruits, you can say 3 to 4 almonds, 1 walnut, 1 fig, 1 date. This is also a prescription for a healthy individual. If you are diabetic or if you have some ailments, your prescription will change. So what comments I'm making right now, it's absolutely for a healthy individual, right? So you can say a mixture of handful of nuts that comprises of 3 to 4 badams, 1 fig, 1 date, 1 walnut, and not immediately after the meal or before the meal, but you can use this as an in between a meal. And it is very important when you eat them, you chew it properly.
Okay. Maybe you continue with the presentation because the question is flowing. So
yeah. I continue with the next half. So as we understood that what is nutrition, what is food, what are nutrients, what is a food group, why it is important, and what all spectrum it takes care of for your body. But now realize where we go wrong, right? So where we went wrong. So we had always coined a term lifestyle. Now for lifestyle for everyone is maybe drinking a red wine is my lifestyle, it's healthy, right? Eating a dark chocolates, it's healthy. So there are a lot of things where we follow the fad diets. If you see our tradition in 1900th century, if we see, people had a less life expectancy, right? But they have a good quality of life. There was no lifestyle associated disorders in that era, right? So the sickness rate was very low. If you compare it current, we have a great life expectancy. We can go up till 79, 80. Nowadays, it has also gone. But if you see that in every family, 1 or 2% with the age are suffering from maybe hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, maybe cardiac issues, heart attack, cancer. This has become very common. So where we have gone wrong, because of the evolution, as it has done good to us, is it done bad to us? We have become sedentary. We have exposed ourselves to a lot of processed food, processed industry, pollution, which has led to a bad lifestyle. And lifestyle is something which is what you are doing, when you are doing, and how much you are doing. And what you do is eat, sleep, and move. So lifestyle is how much you are eating, how much you are sleeping, how much you are moving, when you are doing it, what you are doing at it, and how much you are doing it. So basically, it's 3 things which you do, and for how much time and how you are doing it, it's important on a daily basis. As you see this slide, I'll quickly move. It's more of the scientific. We have all shifted our circadian cycle. Basically, if you compare traditional era, they used to wake up with the sunrise, and they used to sleep with the sunset, right? So what in the tradition was the key they have maintained. They had set their biological clock with the nature. Right now, what all of us are doing, we are waking up at maybe 7, 8, 9, and then we sometimes take breakfast, sometimes we don't take breakfast. Then we eat a lot of junk, we eat out, we do a lot of party. I don't know how much cup of coffee and tea we consume at the work. Then there is no physical activity or exercise for most of the population. And then we wake up and our infrared exposure is increased because of the technology. All the time we are at the mobile screen or the desktop or the laptop. So when most of us sleep with the Facebook and WhatsApp and Insta, maybe around at 12, 1, 2. So this disrupts your circadian rhythm. So it is very important to maintain your biological clock and set that system. Try to maintain it on a regular basis, which will take care of a lot of your issues of hormones and metabolism. Lifestyle risk factors, this is not given to us, this is we have taken, right? So choose what you take. Unhealthy diet, physical inactivity, unhealthy weight, smoking, stress, alcohol, drug abuse. This is nobody gives us, this is what we takes it, right? So we are only responsible if we are having any health ailments. Simple solutions. Say no to fat diets. Now Google and WhatsApp, a lot of things comes on Google or pop up at your window, in your WhatsApp messages, this is healthy, this is unhealthy. It is good to have information, but it is very important to analyze that information, that how far that information is correct or authentic. So don't just randomly follow as it whatever you see on your social media or anywhere you read or anyone tells you. Be sure to contact expert and take their advice that you feel that this will helpful, right? Tell me, because these experts are being trained for years and they have experience of years treating all this. So instead of going and confusing, approach for the simple solutions. No wrong break. Where we go wrong? The first foremost is either we have a no breakfast or we have a wrong breakfast. You know, we may start with in Maharashtra, Mumbai, a lot of people starts with a tea and butter biscuits and the khari biscuit, maybe rusk, because we all are working, we don't have a time to cook. And then we just pull off with the biscuits and tea. That's a wrong breakfast. No breakfast is also a wrong thing, right? So you can have a homemade ideal breakfast like vegetable idli, you can have a vegetable dalia, you can have a methi roti or methi paratha and theplas, you can have a vegetable poha, right? So this way we'll try to incorporate a lot of vegetables into our food. Long in between meals, when we get hungry in between, maybe our office breaks, we how much cups of tea and coffee we take, like a lot of tannin and caffeine in the body. So Maharashtra, a lot of breaks, we get a easy vada pav, samosa pav, misal pav, maybe sandwich, the grilled sandwiches, burgers, rolls, me too, the chats. So
one question, Ma'am Datta, whatever tastes so good is so wrong.
So yeah, because you have to understand, either you become a slave to your taste or you become a slave to your mind and ask whether it's required or not, right? Because taste is only till your tongue. And what is the size of tongue? 1 inch, 2 inch. And for that, so much of struggle we do, right? So if you do this self-talks, it will definitely help you to control this cravings of, and we are human beings, we tend to eat, but I'm saying limit, right? Now, for example, when I say to some clients, I'm sharing the experience that limit. So they said, हाँ मैम, मैं महीने में एक बार वड़ा पाव खाता हूँ, महीने में एक बार समोसा खाता हूँ, महीने में एक बार पिज्जा खाता हूँ, महीने में एक बार बर्गर खाता हूँ, महीने में एक बार रसगुल्ला. So महीने में एक बार, that means he's eating one thing every day, right? So that is, you also have to define once in a blue moon or rare. What is that rare, right? So next is you can choose a healthy option in between meals. You can have a coconut water, you can sip buttermilk, you can take any seasonal fruits, you can munch on roasted chanas, you know, and maybe your salads, something like that for as an in-between meals. Place matters. It is important where you eat, right? So instead of just going to any tapris or any place where there is no control of hygiene, sanitation, so basically you are paying for inviting the diseases. Not fall for so-called diet foods, you know, between when you go to the supermarkets or, you know, Hypercity or something, we say, okay, this is a heart healthy food, this is a diet chivda, this is a diet chakli, right? Baked lays, right? But what it written is not always right. This all are the marketing gimmick used by the companies to increase the sale of their products because they are attacking on your mind. So you are get convinced to buy those. But it is very important, as I said, any processed food, you should be limiting the intake of that. Quantity matters. Measure what you eat, right? So, yeah. So it is very important that you even take care of the, along with the quality, you take care of the quantity. Especially when we go to the hotels, we prefer the buffet, right? And buffet ka we have to do paisa vasool, right? So we start with the soups, then starters, then main course and dessert. The desserts also will have a 5-6 options, right? So वो 600, 700, 800 रुपया वसूल करने के लिए, I don't know what we are doing with the food. So in that conditions, prefer a la carte while you are ordering, right? So choose to order individual things. These are the small tips which you can, you know, incorporate for your daily basis. As I said, avoid buffet and prefer a la carte. Your stomach is not a dustbin, so better if you avoid junk. And also to avoid excess food. For example, na, घर में कैसे होता है, if we make a food and there is some food left at the time of lunch or dinner, mother or maybe women of the house will say, दो एक ही रोटी बचा है, सब थोड़ा थोड़ा खा लो, right? Because maybe we don't want to put it in a fridge, maybe we don't want to give it to servants, maybe we don't want to throw it. But to do that, we say that you consume, right? So these things can be avoided because this will add extra calories and foods. Some people are on autopilot mode. Yeah.
On a lighter note, and not to get beaten by all the moms here, some of them never figure out that their child has eaten enough. They always want to give more.
Yeah, that's a mother love. So too much of love is also not good.
Yeah.
So some people also eat on an autopilot mode. What autopilot mode is like, मेरा फिक्स है, मैं रोज 2 रोटी खाता है, 3 रोटी खाता है, दाल चावल खाता है. But we have to understand our body, listen to your body. For sometimes, some day, if you are not feeling good, maybe you're bloating, maybe you're constipated, maybe you're any, then you don't have to be on autopilot mode. Observe your body gives you signals. Observe those signals and understand this food is giving me problem. This food is feeling me more good. Try to note it down and you can use it for your daily basis.
Yeah. Ma'am, a bit of time check. We are about 5 minutes to 12. You have a little more time or we'll be closing by 12?
I'll just quickly go through the slides. Be with your food when you eat. It is important that you be with your food when you eat. Avoid any screen time with your food. Talk before hog. It is very important that you ask these questions before you start your food. Am I really hungry? Physiological or psychological? Be selective. What am I eating, right? How much I need to eat, quantity, see the P. It is very important that you maintain a hydration. You should not wait for thirst sensation to drink water, right? Ideally, you should sip 4 to 5 sips of water at every 40 to 45 minutes to keep your body cells hydrated, right? Observe the color of your pee. If your pee is dark yellow or yellow, then that means that you are drinking less water. So increase the intake of the water. Maintain your food diary so you can say, you can understand that what you eat and what is the behavior of your body giving it after eating that, right? So follow your heart, but take your brain with you. Avoid cigarette, tobacco, alcohol. Use your brain. Invest in good. Use your teeth. Chewing is a first step of digestion. So chewing your food is very important. It should be a fine paste. We say always that drink your food. So you should chew it so fine that it will turn into the liquid along with your saliva, right? Maintain your nutrition, physical activity and sleep is at all goes hands in hand. Food feed modification, set the biological clock, hydration, food diary, chewing of your food, food meditation, check before you eat, knock, knock, may I come in? Plan diet chart, contact the expert. Fitness doesn't happen overnight and wellness also doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process. So I wish all of you a healthy mind and healthy body. Make it possible. It is very important. We all know that this is good, but it is very important that you adhere to that, right? So you have to adhere to your program or your physical activity like a politician sticks to that chair. So pakde rehna, chodna nahi. Thank you so much. Open to questions.
Yeah, and very nice. I like that change for life. It is not that you just change once, but you change for life.
Yes.
Very nice logo you put that. And I have millions and millions of questions, and I don't think we have enough time for that, but we should try and take a few of them.
Yeah.
So someone asked, Ayush has come up with some arsenic 30 to improve immunity. Is it good?
I'm not the person who can say for this.
Okay.
This is a homeopathy tablet and it's not my expertise.
Okay. So that takes care of another question. It says Giloy tablets and all that. Someone says, doctors say milk is not good because it is adulterated. So what kind of milk would you recommend?
So basically, if I understand that milk is one of the food group which we are eating, what nutrients present are in milk is basically protein and calcium, right? So if processed milk, for example, when we get a milk package, pasteurized milk, so it added both things. For example, when we process milk at high temperature, it kills the pathogens, the bacteria which cause the infections. So we are removing those microorganisms by boiling or heating that milk or pasteurizing that milk, right? But as we say, processing also kills some favorable bacteria. So if you are deficient in your intake of protein and calcium, then you can use a milk as a source. But if you feel that, as we know, that milk is adulterated, even the dairy industry, the milk which they are getting is a hormone-based injections and all that. Now we are getting A1 and A2 milk also. So it will depend on an individual that if they want to prefer a milk as a choice to receive their protein and calcium intake. If I'm not preferring the milk, then I should definitely choose other sources to fulfill my intake of protein and calcium.
Okay, good. Someone is asking if there is insulin resistance is high, then do you recommend intermittent fasting to improve immunity and body functioning?
Okay, now if your insulin resistance is high, so what is insulin resistance? It is like your body is producing a insulin, but the quality of insulin is not so good that it takes care of the food which you eat. That means खाना खाने के बाद जो blood glucose बढ़ता है, वो insulin control नहीं कर पा रहा है. What happens in intermittent fasting is that you have a longer period of fasting, right? So when you eat, you are very hungry and you eat a lot of amount of food at a time. So a lot of amount of food will create a higher intake in insulin demand, right? And if your body is not able to meet that demand and not quality of insulin is producing, that intermittent fasting is not good. But still you can contact the expert and you can plan, because intermittent fasting has a different types of fasting. In that also there's a sub levels, right? So you contact your experts and you can plan that how you can go about intermittent fasting and what food choices you can choose if you want to follow the intermittent fasting.
Okay. And one question is rice good? Or
you are not audible. Is rice good? Okay. That
rice,
was the
yeah,
question.
rice, yeah.
Okay, now let me tell you that rice is a grain, right? So it's a cereal. As I said, whole grain and whole cereals are good to eat. Now what happens when we eat a rice? Rice is very good in the B complex vitamins, but it is a processing, right? So if you are eating too much of processed and polished rice, then you will not get those vitamins, right? So you will just consuming the starch part of rice, more of the starch part, right? So If you take a locally grown, which is less polished, less processed rice in limited quantity, it is good. It is very important if you can club your rice with the pulses, like we eat rice and dal, or maybe we eat a khichdi, where we add a mung and sprouts in the khichdi. Add vegetables or in the form of salads or in your khichdi or in form of pulao, then that rice will become more healthy.
Okay, just the last question before we move on. Is adrak or lasun, garlic and ginger for immunity nowadays?
Yeah, so basically garlic and ginger, if you see, it is considered as a functional food. Like garlic is very good for the lowering cholesterol because it is soluble fiber. Also, it is good as a probiotic, so for your gut bacteria, right? Ginger is very good, as Ayurveda always supports the use of the ginger. So ginger is very good in providing you antioxidants, the immunity, and digestive juices.
So I will just kind of wind up now because this is 12 already, and I just wanted to let everyone know that this has been brought together by a platform called mhealth.ai, and this is a very strong community which is being built together by a very interesting set of people to prevent lifestyle-based diseases, have proactive health done, and it will be an invite-only community. So soon reach out to the website www.mhealth.ai. And these young, energetic, experienced professionals, doctors, researchers will get together to help you and help build a healthier and a happier society. So it's an invite-only community. I must thank Ma'am Datta Patel. She has done a wonderful explanation to the basics, but very, very critical and important things for us to know. We have been neglecting our health, these food which matters so much. And I really loved many slides across, but one which typically said change for life, and the second one which had the duration, how long it takes you to actually fall prey to your bad habits. So we'll learn maybe in the next session sometime how to go back and how quickly we can recover from those things which we have lost out. But I must thank, and I see comments coming there as wonderful session. Thank you so much. Everyone is writing on the chat as well, and we really appreciate that. I do know that the mHealth team will bring this up on their website and put it up live on the channel later on, the recording, etc. So it will be good. We do know we could not answer all questions, but we'll take care of them in a later circulation of email or whatever. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Ma'am Datta Patel. It was a very nice session.
Thank you so much.
Many more. Thank you so much. And thanks the mHealth AI team. Rajesh, I know you are at the backdrop. Thank you, Rajesh, for making this happen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.